Um, Hello. Oh, Kyle joined, man. Thanks for joining, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. Yeah.
I thought
Feel,
you were feeling a little down. So I didn't know if you were gonna join or not.
no, I'm a little better today, so I
All
figured
right,
I'd
good,
come on.
good. Okay, okay. Yeah, well, I thought yeah, because I asked Dylan because he worked today, so
hmm
'cause I think it worked at 4. But yeah, man, glad you made it to the show, man. Glad you're doing I did tune into a little bit of your play by play yesterday of the game. So did you do that on like your network or did you do it through like the Empire network?
I did on my channel because I kind of
Uh,
assumed Dante does it on the network.
oh, got you. So yeah, I mean, let's well, I'm Jordan, Jean Louis, host of the JJ Sports Social. I got my co-host like always. It's the same faces, Jordan and Kyle, man. I might as well name it the Jordan and Kyle show, the JK show. Might as well call it that. But man, how you doing? How you doing, man?
I'm good. Like you said, I was doing the watch along last night. Series is over. Denver took care of things, and now we can kind of look towards the draft and everything. NFL season coming up, so yeah, I'm doing well.
Yeah, so I know you did the play-by-play of last night's game, so I guess we can get into that first thing. I mean, I want to tip my hat off to the Denver Nuggets, especially or specifically, and I want to tip my hat off to the Denver Nuggets fans. You know, I mean, it wasn't like, I mean, they were the number one seed in the West, so it wasn't really surprising they were in the finals or they made it to the finals. But to my hat off to them. They just had the better. I mean, I didn't really worry about Jokic and Murray. I was more worried about Michael Porter Jr. because he was like the X factor, and he actually stepped up. When needed to. They had the better role players as far as Caldwell Pope, Christian Brown or Braun, however you say. I think it's Brown. His last name,
Yeah.
Bruce Brown, ever stepped up. Um, I mean, there are some games where the Heat stepped up, but most games throughout the series, like they were just outnumbered. Bam did all he could in his willpower to stop Jokic, but he just couldn't. So I tip my hat off to the Nuggets, man. I mean, I respect their coach Mike Malone. He always stays humble. Always, oh, if the press asks him a question, how do you feel about the Heat beating you in game two? And his response is like, I mean, hey, they beat us. I mean, look to to the next game. So I respect Michael Malone. I respect their team. So yeah, I tip my hat off to them. So any thoughts on the Denver Nuggets this season?
Yeah, I just think that they were the best team in the league. They play a great brand of basketball. I know some people were like, I kind of heard this on the radio when I was like down in Florida. Somebody called in and was just like, "Oh, Denver's not exciting to watch," and I was just like, "Clearly, you didn't watch enough, Nuggets basketball because between Jokic and Murray, I thought Gordon had a really good series as well. He kind of gave them timely buckets in the paint. He'd post up a smaller guy, and I feel like that really, calmed down Denver when they started to get a little bit sloppy offensively. You know, yeah, it was a great run for Miami. 8 seed, made it to the finals. Um, I was definitely disappointed in Butler last night. He had the little run late in the game, but before that, he didn't do much of anything. And that's the frustrating thing for me when I try to analyze Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm.
He, for whatever reason, he has this mentality where he kind of coasts for a lot of the game and then figures he could just do some stuff late and try to steal wins that way. So because of that, like, I don't refer to him as a superstar. I don't know if he's a top. Oh, he's probably like a top 15 player, but I feel like a lot of people want to make it seem like he's like a top 10 player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he's that guy. Because last night I was expecting him, with all the talk that he has and everything, I thought he was going to come out last night, aggressive from the beginning, kind of make his mark on the game, and he just didn't do it. I don't know why. Because there's plenty of possessions where he had like Jamal Murray on him, and he just kick it out. Wouldn't try to do anything, but yeah, I think Denver deserved it. I think this does a lot for Jamal Murray because a lot of people forgot how good he was that bubble year. Then he hurt his knee. He was kind of out of sight, out of mind for a couple of years, but now he's kind of shown people he's one of the top guards in this game. Jokic, if you had any questions about him, he's clearly the best big man in the game, and you could probably argue might be the best player in the league right now.
Yeah, I mean, like you make a good point, Jamal Murray. Like people kind of forget, like just like Klay Thompson. Like he was a great shooter before he went down with those 2 injuries. People forget that he's still a good player. Klay, I think Klay still has it in him, but I mean, like they forget.
I don't know about Klay.
Well, I'm saying like his job is really just to be like a set shooter now. Like
I just think he's had too many injuries.
Well, it was just
I think it's going to be a struggle for him.
Well, yeah, I mean, he had those 2 injuries, which are in a normal person's body is 2 like career-ending injuries. Like I give props to his doctors and his team, like that he rehab because most players don't come back. Like we saw Baron Davis back in the day, like that was nasty. If you saw that back in the day, when I think he was going for that layup and his knee So, but I guess my point is like people forget like players who are good before their injuries, they forget like how great they are. So like just like Jamal Murray, like people forget like they call Bubble Murray, like he was going off. And then he went down and people kind of forgot like, oh, he's wise. He can't come back from his injury, but he's proven that, he can beat all odds. And in fact, I was looking at Instagram and Twitter and stuff, and Jeff Green, back in 2011, he had open heart surgery. Doctors didn't think that he was going to play or ever come back in the NBA and play for a team. I mean, obviously he played. I mean, he didn't really play a big role, but he played that role of like off the bench, given that stretch, that stretch 4 position. When Jokic went down or Porter went down to the bench. But you have to give props to him, man, because that just proves to me and probably to you and to everyone that's a sports fan that like, yeah, you can have a serious injury or you can have an open heart surgery and everything, and you can be like, you can't do this, you can't do that, but that's just proof that you don't have to listen to everyone like that's in your ear, and like trust your body, trust how you feel. I mean, Ish Smith, I mean, obviously he's bounced around the league. Like he played with the Pistons, I think, like Suns, like probably played with half the teams in the league. Hasn't won a ring, but now he gets a chance to win a ring with Denver. Obviously, he didn't really play at all. Like, how do you? This is not part of the topics, but how do you? Thomas Bryant, like he played with the Lakers, got traded in that trade. How do you feel about? I mean, I think you know where I'm going with this question. Like, how do you feel about the players who like don't get that shine in the playoffs or like in the season, but like still go to ring? Like, how do you feel about that?
I don't have a problem with it because even if you don't
like,
play necessarily,
so it's like say if like that player's like at a restaurant or out in public, right? And like I don't flaunt my ring in the club, whatever, at the bar or wherever I go with my friends, and a random dude asks, how'd you get that ring? I mean, I was just a part of the team. Like I don't know.
I think like, guys like that still do stuff practice wise. They could help guys get ready for the game. So I think they still have a role, even though it's not necessarily on the court.
Right.
So I don't have a problem if they get a ring like that. So yeah. Like they earn it, they just don't earn it when people see it.
Like a lot of people say that like, it's like kind of like the analogy of like you having a group project and like you your team does all the work and you just sit there doing the credit. I mean, I can see where it come from, like being a mentor behind the scenes, I guess, like the stuff like off camera stuff you don't see in the practice and I get that, like I guess, but like for instance, like say how if the Miami Heat won, right, and Haslam, the way his role is, and he got a ring. Do you think he earned that ring? But I mean, obviously he's a mentor.
Well, I mean, Haslam does stuff like on the bench. You see it. He'll talk to players and stuff. I'm sure he does that in practice as well. So I think guys like that have a role. Like I said, we just don't see it on a game night. But the work they do in practice is still beneficial to those guys who do play.
Right.
So like, I think they do earn the ring. They just don't have as big of a role as, of course, the starters and your top bench guys.
Right. I mean, I was thinking like back in like when Jordan Poole wasn't really like proven that, like at Kuminga, he got a ring. He didn't really play as much back, like all like the young players. But I mean, I guess it's just for the experience. I guess for them. I mean, obviously, with Denver, I mean, their team is so young. I mean, the age. I mean, Jokic is 28. Aaron Gordon is 27. Jamal Murray 26. And Michael Porter Jr. is like 24. So like, I don't see like that unless something dramatic happens like in the years to come with that team. I don't see them breaking up that core anytime soon. Maybe I can see them like letting go of some role players, some bench players, maybe to like revamp that bench. Maybe keep Christian Brown, maybe keep Bruce Brown, Caldwell Pope, obviously keep. But maybe the only thing they probably need is just to revamp their bench, really. I mean, other than those key players I mentioned. Oh, DeAndre Jordan, another player that really didn't really play and got the credit, like, for a ring. But I mean, hey, it's
he played last night, and that was kind of weird because I thought Miami was going to take advantage of the Jokic and Gordon foul trouble.
Yeah.
And I think on the watch log, I was just randomly like, wouldn't this be a time to kind of use DeAndre Jordan? He's a big man. You only need him to set screens, and then all of a sudden he was in the game, and I was just like, okay. He got a block. He had a couple of rebounds or whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, that just shows when you get called, even though he didn't play at all in the series, he made
or all in the playoffs, or I don't think I recall him playing.
I mean, he didn't play a lot in the regular season either.
That's just my point. Like, I'm not hating on players that like that get a ring and don't. But it's kind of like a bug to me. Like these players are celebrating, yeah, but they really didn't have they didn't really step on the court. But obviously behind the scenes, on the bench, they're talking, they're mentoring these young players. But I'm just saying, like the young players like that are celebrating. I'm happy for them. They have their ring. I can say the same thing for my team. Like when we won championship in the bubble, like those players, like some of the players didn't really, play. Like I gotta think of who was on that bench, the Lakers bench. Wasn't Austin Reeves on that bench? But he wasn't really he might have been young or might have been like coming in first year in the league. Right. So I don't have like a huge problem with it. It's just like last night seeing those players I hadn't even heard of. That's obviously they don't get to shine because like they're not in a limelight like Jokic and Murray are, but I don't know. It was kind of like, what did you do to like get that ring? But obviously it's not really an individual trophy; it's a team trophy. Coaches get rings, so their owner gets rings. I believe so. I get it takes a village to get a ring. But like, do you see? Like how many more championships do you see like Denver getting in the stand of like these like couple seasons? Because obviously I said they're still young. You got Murray like 24, like Michael Porter 24, Murray 26, Jokic 28. Like how many championships do you see? Because we can go down the list like in the West. We got some question marks like for next season, like with a couple of teams like. How's Chet gonna be with Thunder? When Giannis comes to the Spurs, I mean they're not going to make a big push like for the playoffs, but who knows? Probably not. It's probably be like a rebuild year for Spurs with Wemby. But so many like ifs in the West, like with the Kings, like you said on the Monday Night Show, like with the Chiefs seats on Sports Empire. You said that the Kings might not make it back to the playoffs or might be like a playing team, or because like that core, it's hard to get back to that position in the playoffs. So, like, do you see like any team in the West that can like kind of knock Denver off their rocker a little bit, or do you think they own the West right now? Well, obviously they do right now because they're on top
They
of the
should
mountain.
be. Yeah, they should be the favorite going into next year to come out of the West. We'll have to see what Phoenix looks like. I mean, they still have Durant and Booker, but outside of that, they're gonna have to do a lot of upgrading to make that team more viable. I mean, Sacramento surprised people this year, so let's see what happens next year when teams are ready for them. Oklahoma City, like you said, I think they make a big jump next year, but I think it'd be too much of a stretch for them to make a deep run in the playoffs. I mean, Dallas has a lot going on.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to see how long Morant gets suspended, and the issues that it seems like Memphis has internally with maturity.
I really don't see.
I think the only one who could probably stand in Denver's way is Denver. If they're too overconfident, if they kind of, relax in the regular season, make their road tougher in the playoffs, maybe. But I mean, just looking at because I just pulled up their salary cap stuff, and the only decision they probably really have to make is. No, basically everybody's. Well, I mean, Bruce Brown has a player option. I'm assuming he's going to activate that, but everybody's basically coming back next year. So, I mean, why not have them as the favorite?
Yeah, I think Vegas right now has them as the favorite to not repeat, but be in the finals again, which is understandable. Because I mean, obviously, we're still. We have the draft coming up, and we have teams still making moves. So we'll see how the West shakes up. And I mean, even in the East, you have the Milwaukee, but how they're gonna deal with Chris Middleton? Like, he's always hurt. Is he reliable? Drew Holiday. Like, I mean, I like to say the Celtics. But who knows how they're going to deal with, because I think on the morning show on the Sports Empire, someone said that they ain't going. I think Dante said that they ain't going to pay both players $600 million or however much it is.
I think they will.
I mean,
because you got to remember, salary cap's just going to keep going up anyway.
That's true.
I think they pay him.
You think they pay him both?
Yep. And then you worry about the pieces around them when you have to.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the Eastern landscape too. Like, I just don't see a team in the Eastern Conference knocking off Denver. I can say maybe the Celtics, Phillies has question marks with, Harden. Harden wants to go to Houston. I mean, who is their point guard? Is it going to be? Is it going to be Tyrese Maxey? Is it going to be? Are they going to bring in another point guard? And so a lot of question marks.
I'd let Maxey run the show. I like Maxey's game.
Yeah, me too. I think that they need another point guard off the bench. I would say maybe. I mean, they have Shaq Mountain, I think, but yeah, he is all right. They got Korkmaz, but he don't really play. So I mean, what team can I can't really name you 5 teams, both conferences, who can knock off the Denver right now. I mean, Denver has everything they need. I
can name 2. I think this might be a whatever prediction.
Yeah, it has
to
be.
If Cleveland takes a jump, I think Cleveland has a roster to go up against Denver. I also say that when Miami knocked off Boston, Denver was partying because of that. Because I still think Boston would have matched up better with Denver than Miami could. So those are the 2 teams I would look for in the East, Miami and Cleveland. Because Cleveland has Mobley and Allen. You could put them on Jokic. I mean, yeah, Jokic still has the weight advantage on those guys, but at least they have height. Mobley can stick in Aaron Gordon. You figure Donovan Mitchell can offset Jamal Murray's offensive output. You know, you got Garland, who's like the KCP type. So I think if Cleveland clicks next year, I would not be shocked to see Cleveland make a finals run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mo, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about like what teams, both Western Conference and Eastern Conference, can like, take kind of like knock Denver off their rockers a little bit. Like what team can shake up what team can like be a problem for them. And like if you're still listening to Mo, that's the topic right now. But
Yeah, the West is like a crapshoot. I just don't know what a lot of the teams are going to look like next year. Everybody's going to probably fall in love with the Clippers, but it's like, can you guarantee Kawhi makes it through the year? Can you guarantee?
I would say I would.
Yeah,
I would say another team would be I say another team would be Phoenix, with still got KD, but you still can't rely on KD because he's sometimes hurt and stuff. Like Chris Paul, like well, Adrian Wojnarowski broke the news that he's a free agent, and then come to find out that Vogel said he's not a free agent. So I don't know what that question mark is like. But even that, even if they do keep him, Chris Paul, on the roster, like how reliable is he? I mean, yeah, he might be reliable in the season, but come playoff time, like where is he at in the playoffs? Like groins and hips, and I mean, I know he's getting old, older, I would say. They need a younger point guard, I think. I don't know who that guy is. I mean, maybe it's the player we hate, Cameron Payne. I don't know.
Nah, they gotta upgrade. They gotta upgrade that position.
Man, what's that song? Let me upgrade you. I think that's Beyonce, right?
They gotta find somebody better.
Yeah, I agree. So like, there's a lot of question marks, like with the John Morant, rolling. How long he's going to be out? Zion, the Pelicans, like if he's going to be playing healthy, he has off-court issues he's dealing with right now. So
Zion needs to deal with that first. I'm so sick and tired of seeing those stories.
Yo, Kyle, I forgot you're Zion. So what's going on, man?
That's where we differ. You would never catch me with that type of because it's just
oh my god,
like every day it's something from one of them, and it's just like, bruh, take care of that. Like, I mean, the weight issue and everything, but these women, you got to figure that out, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy, but like that's a question mark. Like, can he come back? Can he stay healthy? I mean, they still got McCollum. Yeah. They still got Brandon Ingram. I mean, they still got a little good core right there. But even Denver, not Denver. On Dallas with Luka Doncic. Is Kyrie Irving going to be there? Is he going somewhere else? I think your mic. Oh, there you go. All right. I thought your mic. Oh, your mic was muted. But yeah, I don't know who can right now. I would say me being a Lakers fan, I'm gonna have Denver in the finals, man. Again. But who knows? This is my early prediction because they had like you said, you went down the list of like people on the team, like they're good with like contract situations, so like they're coming back. Unless a player, like they let go of Bruce Brown or something like that, or kind of, or if Caldwell Pope wants to retire or stay, who knows? It's all about uncertainty because free agency is still happening, all season and like the draft coming up. But let's talk about like the John Morant ruling because Adam Silver said at the start of this series that they have found out more information about John Morant and his antics. They didn't want to release the information during the finals, which we both agreed, which is the right decision because, like you said, if Adam Silver would have said something between the finals, like that would have been like the John ruling would have been like the main focal point of the playoffs. Or so, and now since the finals is over, like what do you think? Because obviously, John Morant met with Adam Silver the first time. We both thought that was the first and only meeting between them two, which it's not. Now, John Morant got caught again with a gun, and Adam Silver is now in the position to like kind of set the bar and set the tone for every NBA player that hey, this is not the right thing to do. We are a private company in like the NBA. We don't. We yes, you are a human. You are an American. You have rights to a gun, but you can't have guns in our league. It's not setting a bad or a good example for the young kids. So tell me, if you were Adam Silver, in this situation, you met with him once. He said,
Mhm.
"I'm pretty sure he's like, oh, I'm not gonna do it again. I'm sorry, boss. Because I know you pay my checks and you write my checks. I'm not gonna do it again. Okay, come to find out, you turn your back and you do it on an Adam Silver again and limelight again for the wrong reasons. So you're Adam Silver. You're in New York at the league office. How are you handling the
Mhm.
situation? What do you say? How many games are you going to do it? Since this is second strike, are you going to
Yep.
kind of like suspend it for the whole year, half the season? Because you have to set the bar. So you go, then I'll go.
So for me, the way I look at it is, well, one, John Morant's camp talking about the second video was a toy gun. If it was a toy gun, that just shows how immature
To be honest,
John
I thought
Morant
the
is.
first video, I thought it was like a lighter, like a gun lighter, but because it looked like a smaller gun, like it looked like a little lighter gun, but I don't know. But yeah, I heard that
Yeah,
story too. I heard that story.
yeah. I mean, that's just immaturity.
Gun or fake
If
gun? I
that's
mean, it's still a gun. So
yeah. So it's still stupid. Now, I think next year with the 65 game rule for like postseason awards and everything, I think that's the benchmark. I think the suspension has to be in the case that John Morant becomes ineligible for all that stuff, because that's going to send a big message. Because we know so much money is tied up into those All NBA team selections and everything like that. So if you look at 65 games, you play 82, that's at least 17. I think a nice round number, 20 games.
20 games for last.
So that way, no All NBA for you, none of that, and yeah.
Will he still get selected for like an All Star, or would
Um,
that be too late in the season or too early? Or
I mean, he'll be on the ballot, but
but
I don't know how much fans will really want to vote him in. That might be a testament to how popular he is after all of this. So if he makes the All Star team, I think he can live with that. But the All NBA stuff is what really matters to these players, and you have to affect that for them. So I would say you start at 20 games. If you want to do like 25, knock yourself out.
yeah, I mean, I definitely do agree on that. But now, like, say, like he just doesn't listen, and he does it the third time, he's out of the league. I mean, if I was a commissioner and the individual player, I mean, I would have a three strike policy. If you do it one time, okay, you apologize, you won't do it again, okay. Second time, I'll go with Mo, 25, 20. I'll go with your range, 20 to 30 games in between, like that range.
Yeah.
Third time, I'm sorry, you're banned from the league. I mean, we can't be having this, especially when young kids are buying your jersey. We got young fans that have been supporting you. Even players in the league and coaches that have supported you like you. But now you're doing this to the league, like I can't have you like sticking up my business. Like it's just how it goes. Like so, I think that the bar is like 20 to 30 game suspension. But obviously, I mean, I'm intrigued to see because he said that there's more information of like what we don't know.
Right.
There's more to that. So I don't know. It could be the whole season. It could be that plus whatever else is tacked on to that. But I do agree that Adam Silver has to tack on or make a statement as far as, if you do this certain thing, then these are the consequences. You do stupid shit. What's the saying? Like, you do um, stupid shit leads to stupid surprises or consequences or something. I mean, I have a brain fart right now. Like the saying like, um,
I'm trying to think of the saying. I don't know.
stupid. Whatever. I mean, I'll think of it. Maybe Mo could help me out with in the chat. But like you do stupid things or
I mean,
do
I know
stupid,
that one that Mo put in there. Yeah, you do the crime, you
well
do the time.
well that one I was thinking about, but another one it was like do stupid things, you get something consequences or something like that along those lines. I'm gonna have to edit this part out after the show because I'm like had a brain fart. But yeah, I mean, if you do the crime, you do the time. That's really what the motto is in this situation. Um, but I'm very interested to see now since the finals are over, like what Adam Silver is going to release to the public, like as far as more information they found. So I mean, it's gonna be crazy, and plus Dylan Brooks off the team. So I mean, really, is Desmond Bain, John Morant as far as, and then Adam. I mean, Steven Adams and Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, Clark kind of had the ACL, so I mean, there's so many question marks in the West. Like just because of the all season coming around, free agency, the draft. But as far as a team that I will bet my money on for early season predictions. Right now, I have Denver back in the finals. I don't know who's in the West or who's going to be in the East. I want to say Milwaukee with Giannis because I like Giannis, but they don't. His supporting team is not as is not. I mean, he needs more help. I think Giannis. As far as that team. Um, did they hire a coach yet for Milwaukee?
Yeah. Isn't it? Isn't it Nick Nurse? Did he go there?
I thought Nick Nurse went to Philly.
No, you're right. You're right. Who went to Milwaukee? Oh, Adrian Griffin.
Adrian Griffin. Where's he from? Like, what tree is
He
he
was
from?
on. He was on Nick Nurse's staff.
Oh, okay.
Supposedly, he's the guy that Giannis wanted, so they went and got him.
Yeah. So like any last thoughts on like the NBA Finals, like any or on the playoffs in general, this year, like any.
No, I just pulled up Milwaukee's salary cap because I was wondering about them. Middleton actually has a player option, so he could decide to become a free agent, which I wonder if he would do that or not. But outside of that, everybody else is kind of on the well. Actually, Bobby Portis is a free agent as well. So Milwaukee could look very different next year.
Oh, they could. They really could. Well,
I think all in all, the playoffs were.
What about like Lopez? Is he under contract? Brook Lopez.
Brook Lopez.
That's another big part too. Another key player.
He's a free agent.
Okay.
He's also 35. I wonder if Brook Lopez might retire.
That's a good question.
But if they re-sign him, it probably wouldn't take a lot of money to do so. But he's a guy, I could see retiring in the offseason. But I think the playoffs in general was, for as unpredictable as we all thought it was going to be, it lived up to that and more. And I think in the end, the right team is probably standing on the mountaintop in Denver. Miami gets credit for their season. They you made it to the finals. That's definitely a good year for any team. Of course, you wanted to win it, but getting there for their situation, have to count it as a good year. We saw the ascension of some young teams in Sacramento. We see the potential in other teams with like Oklahoma City, your Clevelands. New York is a team that I want to see next year what they do. Because Brunson, he became a star. He was in Dallas behind Luka. And, a lot of people are like, Dallas made the mistake of letting him go. I honestly think he wanted to go anyway because he knew in New York, one, his dad is there, but he would run the show in New York. And clearly that's what he wanted. He excelled at that. So I think next year there's going to be a lot of intrigue as well. Like you said, Boston, what do they look like? Milwaukee, Cleveland,
even Miami. Like, I mean, they're kind of like
yeah,
that.
Miami, yeah, Miami has room to make
If you think
improvements
about
as
it,
well.
I mean, other than Butler, I mean, they're kind of like a point forward away. When I mean point forward, I mean like a big who can like kind of like an AD, like a player who can like dominate the paint, guard a big man, and would be reliable to step out for a three. Like we all thought Bam could do that, but Bam kind of had spurts where he was kind of timid. I mean, obviously, we all thought that matchup between Joker and Bam. I mean, like I said, Bam did the best he could to guard him, Jokic, because Jokic, you can't. He's like a unicorn, man. You can't do anything about it. Even LeBron said, I think after they lost that series in the press conference, he's like, yeah, like I mean, when you put your best defender on him, he'll have the ball behind his head and freaking shoot it like freaking Larry Bird does back in the day. So like, how do you guard that? How do you block a shot like that? How do you defend that? Especially when, I mean, do you see that shot where Joker hit I think off 1 foot in front of AD? Like that's a shot that a point guard would do, but a center, I mean, I would go on record right now, like Joker's body type, he should not be dominating like because his athletic ability, he's slow, but he's skilled. Like he's not like yes, he can create, he can do much. He's like a quarterback, really. He if he's not scoring efficiently like one game, so what? He can create offense for Jamal Murray, pick and roll. He can get a rebound, push the ball up court, throw a freaking one-handed quarterback pass to Michael Porter Jr. But he is not a kind of player I would think that would be like that player because like he's slow, he's big bone guy, not as quick on his feet. But hey, I can't talk because he's a 2-time MVP. So I believe that he should have won. He should have won that MVP this year, but I know he kind of missed a couple games, and Joel kind of like overtook him for a week or two. But I feel like but I think that the NBA didn't want to, give it to him because if he did, he would have first player to ever get three MVPs, whatever, or like in a row back to back. Well, let me go to Mo's comment.
He would have joined the Elite Company.
Player movement
because
is going
I
to be
think
crazy.
Bill Russell.
I agree.
Like Bill Russell and Larry Bird, but yeah.
Yeah. But
plus, Embiid's cried about the MVP for like 6 years now. Like they wanted to reward Embiid's great play, and it was kind of getting to the point where it's like, is it just Embiid being unfortunate that he's played during Giannis's dominance and Jokic's dominance?
And he still is playing in their dominance. Giannis.
Well, the pressure's on Embiid now.
Yeah, Jokic got his ring. It really is.
So Embiid, what are you gonna do?
Because I had a topic for the NBA. A topic I had. So since Jokic won, the championship, do you think that kind of like puts him in a combo as one of the best bigs ever to play, or did he need a few more rings to like kind of like solidify? I know the 2 MVPs is saying something. I know 1 ring is, but when people say Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Bill Russell, the rings. I mean, if people want to debate, they talk about ring chasing and ring talk. So do you think he needs like at least a couple more rings to like shut up everyone? Do you think the 2 MVPs and the 1 ring is like be like, okay, I'm here, baby. I'm here. Like,
that's a good question because actually on the watch log, somebody asked me with Jokic winning the ring. Well, they made the comment that Jokic winning the ring puts him ahead of Olajuwon in terms of big men. I don't know if I'd go that far, and maybe I'm just too big of an Olajuwon fan to say that, but I do think it puts Jokic in the conversation in terms of big men because, yeah, he's not at Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain yet because they were just dominant for extended period of time.
Or like Kareem or whatever.
Yeah. Kareem as well. I mean, Kareem was dominant for like I don't know, 25 years. But yeah, now he's in that group, kind of like Mo
Yeah.
saying. I wouldn't put him ahead of Olajuwon yet, but he's definitely right there, knocking on the door.
Do you see
Because
him
to
like?
me,
Do you see him overpassing like Tim
go ahead.
Duncan? Well, he's a power forward, I guess. The center.
Nah,
Yeah,
Duncan. Look,
that's going too far,
I,
huh?
I wonder about Duncan if like the further we get away from his playing career, if Duncan's going to be one of those guys who might get diminished because he wasn't a flashy player and all that.
Hmm.
So I think he has a way to go to get to Duncan's level because Duncan was as dominant of a low post player as I've ever seen. You know,
Right.
the fundamentals, the shot off the glass, he made that into a household type of thing. He was just so good at it. You know, Scottie Pippen would do that before, but Duncan took it to another level. So I mean, I wouldn't put him even that high because I'd probably put Duncan ahead of Olajuwon in terms of low post guys. I think you could put like fours and fives kind of together, especially now where everybody's trying to be positionless. A lot of fours can kind of play the five role, a lot of fives play the four role, so it's like interchangeable at this point. But yeah, I wouldn't have Jokic ahead of Olajuwon, and Olajuwon is definitely a top five big men for me. Yeah, he's there. I think another ring would definitely probably push him ahead of Olajuwon. You know, maybe another MVP as well would do
Hmm.
that.
So we're talking about like just strictly centers, like top centers. Like, do you think? What about like top players? Like, what do you see him on that list? Like, you
All
have
right, he's the best player in the league right now.
in the league. Yeah,
I
I
think last
wouldn't.
night proved that.
I wouldn't disagree on that one. I mean, but like, what about like the list of like Michael Jordan,
All
LeBron,
time.
Kobe, all time? Oh, is it too early?
I mean, he's moving up. He's definitely moving up. You know, I would say all time to like crack that top five, he still has a little bit more work to do.
I think right now,
You know, like I
I
said,
mean,
if he popped out another title, another couple of MVPs, because I don't think he has to get to like the 5, 6 title area to be recognized as one of the greats. I just think especially the triple doubles, like if that turns into something where he like sets the record for triple doubles or something like that, I feel like because one with like recency bias, he'll probably
yeah.
shoot up a lot of people's lists. I like if he has like 5 more years of this type of dominant play, then I think he could be maybe a top 10 player all time.
I mean, I'll go on and say right now. I think Jokic is on the all-time list. I think he's like just barely outside the top 10. Maybe I say 13, 11. But like you said, like with this title, it can maybe nah. No, I say comfortable with 15, 15 right now. 15 middle of the pack. Obviously, like you said, another MVP will probably push him up the ladder. So maybe after he gets another MVP or a title, he'll be like an 11. Um, and we'll see how. I mean, we'll see where he goes. Like as far as like team wise, where he's gonna stay in Denver his whole career. Does he want to move and maybe the shine's not really on him no more? Well, it's like all questions. Like um, because like LeBron, like and KD, they bounced around teams, and Jordan kind of stayed with one team until he went to Washington. But I mean, as far as we know, like I don't see Jokic going anywhere anytime soon. But that's a question. Like, do we see like in the near future, like 5 to 10 years from now, him being being in Denver? Obviously Denver loves him. Malone loves him. The city of Denver loves him. Like he's like a god to them right now. I mean, it's like I'm trying to think of a player who like it's like Tom Brady, right? Like as an
Mm-hmm.
outsider, not a fan of Patriots or Tom Brady, like you hate to see him win and play the way he does as a quarterback, but you have to cherish it because like obviously Tom Brady, he's not really a mobile quarterback. He's more like the old fashioned pocket passer who can read defenses, who can trick defenses. But just like me, like I mean, as a Laker fan, I hated, watching Joker play like against us, like the way he played and dominated. But like, you have to love it at the same time because, like, I mean, me and you being an NBA fan, and most people watching right now, like, um, right now, I mean, we're so used to the traditional position play where a center just has to do rebound, pass to the outlet, block, defend. But now we see Jokic, he can do everything: block, steal, make plays, pass like a point guard. I mean, you hate to see it. Like I'm pretty sure people hate it to see Joker win a championship. Like people who like don't like Denver or whatever, or don't like for some reason don't like Jokic. I mean, I like Jokic now. He's earned my respect. He's earned my. I never really talked bad on Jokic. Like I just think that he's just not athletic. Like, but it was just true. Like he's a big guy, heavy on his feet, but he does things that can put him on that all-time list where he can create plays. He can shoot deep, like from the three. He can create plays for his players, like create opportunities. Like he got Christian Brown involved in some plays where I didn't know who Christian Brown was. Like to be honest, like because he was on the bench, so like I didn't really see him play, but like he kind of got him involved, got him shine, created plays for Bruce Brown. So I mean, I gotta tip my hat off to the guy, man. I mean, I think 15 is fair to put him in that kind of like that range right now of all time list. But obviously, like you said, I don't know if you agree with me. I know you always disagree with me. Like you're the chat moderator. every time
the thing is, I just haven't done a all-time list in forever. I don't know where I would have him, but
I swear every time I'm in the Facebook chat when I like say something and you're just at work or something like that and like, oh, here comes Jordan John Weeb. That's something up. That's either Kyle Bubble.
I don't do that all the time. I mean, look, Jokic shows basketball IQ can overcome athletic limitations. Because like you said, he doesn't jump the highest. He's not the quickest. He's not, light on his feet. But his basketball mind is so far ahead of a lot of people, he makes it work for him. He also shows that he can dominate a game, not with just scoring. He dominates in every area. He's an ultimate team first type of guy. He wants to see everybody do well. This is where a lot of his assists come from. So, also like Mo said, if he never wins another title, he's going to be the greatest thing ever in Denver because they broke the 47-year drought, won their first title.
I mean, you have to give it to Murray too, man. Like, I mean, Joker gets the credit to get the MVP, but yes. Murray, like, that core is just like, oh man, it's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Denver fans, they're gonna credit this whole team. It's gonna be Jokic, Gordon, Porter Jr. Yeah, they're gonna love all these guys.
Let me see what other topics I had. Okay, so I had another topic I had. So I know Dame Lillard on a podcast like a couple of weeks ago. I think someone asked him like, "Hey, do you see yourself playing with other teams?" And he said he gave us a list, but he named a certain team. He said Miami Heat. So you would like to see him stay in Portland and maybe try to build around him. But if like we talked about teams who can potentially knock off the Denver. If somehow this offseason is crazy and wild and Dame ends up going to Miami, it's an if. Do you see that team with, the way they can revamp that roster, like move some pieces around to get Dame? Do you see them? Do you see Dame and Butler? And maybe if they get like a true point forward, not saying like get rid of Bam, but maybe like kind of get younger and more youth at that position. Do you think that with Dame in Miami, do you think that that's enough to, because they have a point guard. I mean, that's definitely upgrade than Kyle Lowry.
Right.
So do you see like them overtaking Denver or getting close to, that being in effect? 'cause I don't know. Because to me, I don't know because Butler and Dame, they're kind of like, man, Butler.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how they
I
would
want
work
to say
together.
because Dame is, I mean, Butler's more like ball dominant, I would say, but he can still play off ball. Butler, he plays better off ball, but they both want the ball in their hands. Dame, obviously, if he goes to Miami, he's gonna have the ball in his hands primarily because he's a point guard. Um, but if Spoelstra, I mean, knowing Spoelstra, I mean, knowing whatever roster that looks like the next season, if Dame, I'm saying if Dame comes to Miami, like Spoelstra's gonna have the game plan of like the roster moves and like the rotation. So, I mean, I want to say it looks scary, but like you said, I don't know how it would look like. But I mean, it could be scary. It could be a scary duo. Um, I'll be interested to see like what they do at that point forward position. To who can they put alongside Bam to like kind of like relieve that pressure off of Bam, so he doesn't have to do as much. Because obviously he has a mid range shot, but they need someone who can like stretch out the floor, and like give him that three, at that four position. But I mean, like, what do you think? Like, you think them adding Dame particularly could like kind of
I
be
mean,
like
what are they giving up? What are they giving up to get Dame though?
maybe
Because you had to trade for him.
Yep, true.
Like, wouldn't you have to give up probably like, I don't know, Hero, and I don't even know what it would take to get Dame to Miami.
How do you? I feel like any NBA. Oh, how did I do that last time? The NBA, like trade machine.
Mm-hmm.
Is that on ESPN?
Yeah, ESPN has one. There's a couple other websites that have trade machines, but yeah, ESPN probably has the most famous one that people know
Well, I'm
about.
pulling it up.
Because that'd be my only thing. It's like, what would Portland accept from Miami to offload Damian Lillard? Because yeah, Dame could say I want to play in Miami, but Portland, if they don't want to do business with Miami, he's not going there.
Okay.
I mean, look, Damian Lillard is one of those guys who, the NBA media has been trying to move him for years now because he's seen as a guy that probably deserves to win a ring. Even though I've never been a big believer in that because, it used to be Carmelo. Every year you'd hear Carmelo deserves to be here so he can win a ring. And it's just like Carmelo made some decisions in his career that hindered himself from winning a ring. So I don't need to see him win one necessarily. I mean, yes, Damian Lillard's been a great player in this league. I've also thought that Portland has put teams around him that could have been successful. He had a couple of years where they made playoff runs but just never got over the hump. I mean, I don't know if Portland could ever do anything right now with him that would probably rival Denver. So maybe for him, he's looking at, if I go to the East, maybe I can find a path to the finals. But yeah, I don't know how Miami makes it work in terms of trade-wise. Like, if they have to give up too much to get him, and then isn't he kind of just in the same situation?
Wow. So I did. Let me show you this. So let me just pull this up. Share screen. NBA trade machine. Show on stream. So I just did this so let me go back.
If I'm Portland, I say no.
I'm not. I mean, I'm just saying let's start over.
No, I know what you're saying, but it's like if that's what Miami came with, I'd be like, no. Like Oladipo, if Oladipo is healthy, yes, because Oladipo is a young athletic guy, sure. but with his injury history, Lowry, look, I don't know how many more years Lowry probably needs to be playing, but if I'm telling my fans that, hey, we traded Damian Lillard and we got Kyle Lowry back, we might have a riot outside the stadium.
Right. So the current roster for Portland right now is Lillard, Anthony Simmons. So I believe Lillard is still under contract, 5 years, $42 million. Anthony Simons is under contract for 4 years, $22 million. So the players are off limits. I'm assuming that Jeremiah Grant, Cam Reddish, Knox, and Thibault. People who are still, Skylar Mays, Little. So on the Miami side, people who are untouchable is Kevin Love, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, and Yurtseven and Cody Zeller. They're not chargeable. So how do I do this? So I would say I would pick Lillard, right?
Yep.
So he would go to Miami. And how would I do? Just try this straight, or what would happen?
No, you got to put players over to Portland. I mean, you got to probably start with Hero. Probably Caleb
Kyle
Martin.
Lowry. Oh, Caleb Martin.
I mean, Lowry would probably just for the money to work out. So I'd say, Lowry. And then there probably have to be like first round picks, which I mean, the ESPN machine doesn't let you do that, but
I think I deleted Edmund.
Yeah, that's just trade extension. I don't care about all that.
So
that's probably going to go through, I'm assuming.
Oh, wow. The Blazers are over the luxury tax threshold with this trade and the incoming egregious salaries. Exceeded was allowed via the 24%.
So you might have to add another contract going to Portland. I don't.
Maybe Robinson.
That might be too much money at that point. I guess throw Oladipo in there.
All right. Damn.
Still failed. Well, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be tricky. Maybe they make it work, but
maybe take Tyler Hero off. But let me see it. Oh, that went through. But so Holliger said that.
I feel like they would want Hero.
Let me adjust it. Let me go to.
Yeah, I guess we'll just use this as the example. Like, if you're Portland and that's not good enough for Dame Lillard. Like I said, you could throw in like first round picks and all that. Might make it look a little better, but
yeah, Tyler Hero might be too much. Because every time I take Tyler Hero off the thing, it's like
Mo put in there, Blazers would hang up to this. I think unfortunately Miami might not have enough really good players that would make sense to trade Lillard for. It's gonna be tricky because there's like fanspo.com.
Yeah.
There they let you trade draft picks. So
did they let you trade draft picks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I did Caleb Martin, Tyler Hero, and a couple of first round picks. Still doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't know what they would give up.
I mean, they might have to do like a crazy amount of first rounders.
Yeah, again, that's just a big if. Like he just said Miami, he wants to play in Miami, but hey, it's just maybe he's saying that just to, to speed up the process of Portland making a move and building that. But he did say that on the podcast he wanted to play in Miami. I think he was one of the teams he said he wanted to play for. Because I don't see him winning a championship in Portland with the team he has right now. I feel like his better option is to play for a contender. But he's had ample opportunities. Like there was him tied with the Lakers at one point. There was him tied with L.A. Clippers. I think at one point. I think he was tied to Miami at one point. Um, I think in New York, I think he was tied to at one point. So he has several like opportunities to play, and I get like he went off on a podcast a year or two ago about like, hey, like I just want to be stick to one team, whatever. But I mean, I don't. Does he care? Does he care about like winning rings right now? Because like he's not winning anything in Portland right now anytime soon with that roster. Um, so I feel like him in Miami or him on another, obviously a team that's not on a rebuild right now. I think that it'll be better for him. So I'm here to see like where he goes. I know he's still under contract with them, Portland. So it's going to have to be a trade or maybe a 3-team trade. It might have to maybe a third team has to be in the mix too. If that's even possible, a third team. So where do you see Dame next season? Do you see him still in Portland? Do you see him testing out the market?
I mean, I see Dame. I mean, like I said, I think all NBA offseason they're going to be talking about ways to get Dame out of Portland because one, we know with the NBA media they want guys like Dame in bigger markets. That's why you said we've heard about him in LA, heard about him in New York. Shockingly, bigger markets. I still don't understand why the NBA media continues to do that. Remember, they tried it with Giannis. Oh, Giannis has to get out of Milwaukee. No, he doesn't. Jokic wins it in Denver. Denver's not a major market in terms of the NBA. I think the league is better if the stars are spread out. Now, yes, it would be unfortunate if Lillard plays his whole career in Portland and doesn't win a ring. I get it. But we've seen plenty of greats do that. Reggie Miller never won a ring, still seen as one of the greats. Barkley, I mean, he tried moving around later in his career, didn't win a ring, still a great player. Karl Malone never won a ring, stayed in the same spot, great player. So, look, well, actually, Lillard is the one who said he hates this ring chasing.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. Yeah, that podcast
we're in. But now he's on a podcast talking about he wants to leave Portland. If he goes to Miami, it would seem like maybe he's trying to ring chase, I guess. But I don't know if him going to Miami necessarily qualifies for that. Maybe he just wants to be in Miami because he just likes the Miami area. I don't know. But I think he's in Portland. And like I said, I think all next year we'll probably hear would Portland move Lillard at the trade deadline or something. I think that becomes some story for most of the year. But I actually found a trade that worked finally.
Oh, wow.
Once again, I don't even know if...
You want to show it on the screen for everyone to see, if you can? Okay, I might have to... Okay.
Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, Highsmith, Hero, first round picks in 2023, 2027, 2029, and a second round pick in 2029.
For some reason, like a black screen from.
So you're looking at 4 players, 4 picks to get Lillard into Miami. Oh, you still couldn't see it?
Oh, yes. It's like a black screen.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to remove it and bring it back up because I have that happen sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can see it.
Yeah, it's still not coming up for me.
Okay. Well, so like I said, it's Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, Haywood Highsmith, Tyler Hero, first round picks in 23, 27, and 29,
Well, they have a
second round.
they have a pick this year. Miami. Oh wow.
Yeah, they have number 18.
Oh, so they pick before. They pick after the Lakers because we have 17. Oh wow. All right.
Yeah,
So
so
they'll
20,
have to. So they'll have to get that pick up like to get
yeah,
like.
23, 27, and 29 first round pick,
Eh.
29 second round pick, and that is a success for this trade machine.
I mean, I get Dame, but like just for one point guard, I mean, they need to. I mean, I know Dame is elite, but all that for one position. I mean, I think
That's what I'm saying. It's like, and now if you look at it, you'd have Butler, Lillard, Adebayo.
Man.
You know, like I said, no Martin, no Robinson, no Hero.
Well, Robinson's kind of is streaky a little bit.
Right. Yes, yeah.
I wouldn't mind Robinson's side. I wouldn't mind Robinson. He did have that 1 year where he was going off, but he kind of like not I wouldn't say like peaked, but he kind of like wasn't consistent. So Blazers, I guess when he was talking about my machine, he said Blazers just hung up the phone. The beauty about the NBA is the what if factor keeps us engaged all through the all season, and then it happens again at the trade deadline. Oh my, yes, Mo, man, you are right, because like that's what I like about the NBA. Like you can say, what if LeBron goes to Dallas? What if LeBron goes to Milwaukee to team up with Giannis? Like how about that? Like what if like Dame goes to the Celtics to team up with Tatum? Like just like the hypotheticals, and then when once those teams align, then the trade deadline. What would the Lakers do to revamp their team? What are the Celtics going to do? Like so. Yeah, I mean, Mo, you bring up a good point with that. Like, that's just the beauty of the NBA and like how that works. You can just say, "What if?" Like, the world of what ifs. But now, like, before we go to the NFL, and then I got the game where we played last show. The guest the NFL player. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players. I think one of them. I think one of them is easy, but the other ones maybe not.
Okay.
So we'll get to that. That's the end of the show. But so before we go to the NFL, I guess just quick Laker talk. Like, what do the Lakers need to do in the off season to? This is I'm not trying to be like a homework question, but like it's a serious question. Like, what do the Lakers need to do to like? What are the steps the Lakers need to do to like get to that back to that finals form? Obviously, the first goal is to keep Austin Reeves and keep Rory Hachimura. I think they should keep Dennis Schroeder as a backup point guard. Then they need to get rid of D'Lo. They got to get rid of Malik Beasley. I say keep Vanderbilt, and Mo can give his input too since he's a Laker fan too. So like, what do you think the Lakers need to do to get to that next step to advance it deeper into the playoffs? Like what? Or what can they do? I know they had that 17th round pick in this year's draft. Which that player probably won't be used as much, like a Max Christie like kind of role, like that to learn. Or maybe that player can start. But what do you think they should do? Or what like moves should we make?
I think. I'm looking at the roster here. So I think the Lakers, inject some youth, of course.
Because
they go as far as LeBron and AD take them. Only thing is LeBron is pushing 40 pretty soon. I think it's 39.
You're 21,
39 or something like that. AD is only 30, but with all the injuries and everything, he seems like an older 30.
Yeah.
Then outside of that, I mean, look, if D'Angelo Russell could have played better, I think he would be a good fit as a guy who can score. He can assist and all that. Defensively, not great, but at least he'd give you a third legitimate scorer. But based off this playoff run, I wouldn't believe in him. So yeah, I think you let him go. Now Reeves, I think if it becomes a bidding war for Reeves and the money gets too crazy, I think unfortunately LA might have to let him go. Because I'd hate to see like Reeves get some crazy contract, then not live up to it, and then that becomes a big issue. So I think when it comes down to maybe between Reeves and Hachimura, they kind of decide on one of them and bring them back. To be honest with you, I think Hachimura might be more valuable because he gives you another, front court player who, I mean, if he can continue his run like he had in the playoffs, where, he showed that mid-range game, he would occasionally shoot a three, he could get to the rim. I think that's something that they would love to have behind AD, behind LeBron as a guy, to come in and do that for them. Like I said, I'm just seeing a lot of crazy stuff about Reeves where it might get up to like 100 million and all that kind of stuff. I would say be careful with that one.
I mean, the Lakers did say they're going to match any offer, but I mean, if it gets too much, I might like.
Yeah, but if it gets crazy, you can't. You have to bite the bullet and let him go. Kind of like Mo's saying, they need an athletic wing. Like I said, I think youth athleticism is what they need on this team.
I want to go to the comments. So Mo said they need an athletic wing that can impact the game. So Mo, I mean, obviously you're still watching. So like what athletic wing would you want on the team? Like, and do you mean like a wing that can start?
Free agent.
Or do you mean a wing that can come off the bench? Like, do you mean a person who can start off the bat for us on the wing, or do you mean like a wing that can kind of, if AD goes to the bench, like he'll be that player to step in? Like, I'm assuming you said, I'm assuming you meant starting, a starting athletic wing. Yeah, I don't know who the free agents are this year. I'm not sure.
I mean, I think athleticism, whether it's in the starting lineup, bench, just get athleticism on the team. I mean, looking at the free agents, it's like, do any of these names really blow you away? Westbrook, you already tried that, so forget that. Middleton, no. Porzingis, I mean, he's been kind of disappointing outside of like that 1 year in New York. Kevin Love, Draymond, Van Vliet, Harrison Barnes.
Well, he's a guard, right? Van Fleet.
Yeah. Now Jeremy Grant is an athletic.
Well, isn't he,
maybe that's the guy you go for.
Well, on the ESPN thing, he said that he was off the market. Like he had the red circle, like by. Because I couldn't trade him, Grant, unless he's a free agent or.
Yeah, he's an unrestricted free agent.
I don't know why ESPN said he was I couldn't even choose him to like be a trade.
I guess since I don't know. I guess technically he's not under contract, so. But that's a guy. Maybe you go after him.
I mean, I like Mo Bamba. I mean, Mo Bamba. I mean, he's like that big.
Mo Bamba doesn't play.
He doesn't
That's
play.
A pipe dream.
We should play him.
Mo Bamba's been a hype machine since he's been in the league, and I can't remember 10 games he's played in.
That's true.
Did he even play for LA?
I think a couple games, but not.
Yeah,
not much.
That's Mo Bamba. That's Mo Bamba in a nutshell.
Yeah, I'm good. Oh yeah, definitely keep Lonnie Walker. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Lonnie Walker's fine. Yeah, Jeremy Grant's a name. I would try to get him. I don't know if you can, but I'd try. Karis LeVert. I mean, outside of the injury, he hasn't really been the same. Gary Trent Jr.
There's not really much out there right now.
I mean, Christian Wood's out there. I don't know if you can get him. Maybe that's a guy you try as well.
So, like, when it's all said and done, do you see like this Lakers roster being different?
Do I see
Or
the
like,
roster being different?
do you anticipate the roster outside of LeBron and AD?
I think the roster needs to be there needs to be some type of change to the roster. Because like I said, Reeves is a free agent. If the number gets too high, I think he's gone. I think Hachimura they have a good chance to re-sign, but I think he definitely made himself some money with this playoff run.
Yeah.
Then outside of, I mean, look, Schroeder, I don't know what his value is on the open market because I think people are still, thinking about when he was with the Lakers before and he turned down that big money to sign that tiny contract with the Celtics. And it's just like, I feel like that's going to be attached to Schroeder, but he's a really good backup point. I don't know if I'd have him as a starter, but as a backup guy, he's one of the best ones in the league. Yeah, I'm still looking at these free agents. I mean, Kuzma's a free agent. Do you bring him back? Maybe. So there's a couple of names out there.
Yeah.
Kelly Oubre. Dylan Brooks is out. I'm sick.
Dylan
Brooks technically, perimeter guy who can guard. Why not? His value is probably as low as it is right now because of.
But you think?
Everything that happened. But
I think that'll go well with LeBron. Like, I don't know. With the way he was like talking about LeBron and all that beef. I don't think it was even beef to begin with. I don't think it was anything. But Mo, like I was talking to my cousin and the other day, and he said that if you're still watching, Mo, how do you feel about us? Because I know when AD goes down or like to the bench, like we need that big to step up. So what about us? Like try to getting Naz Reid from Minnesota. He's athletic big. He can't shoot really deep balls.
That's a good name Mo brought in there. Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Yeah.
I like him. Yeah, but how do you feel about Naz Reid, man? Like big body center. When AD goes to the bench, he can,
I've been seeing Naz Reid popping up everywhere. I've seen a bunch of Celtics people like, get Naz Reid. And I was
nice,
like,
man. He fills that role where it's like you can feel comfortable that he can guard with if your top starter or like center goes down. He's the guy that can fill that role really well. I think that obviously his role is kind of diminished because of Anthony Towns and Gobert there. So there's really no need for him.
There's a chance that Cat gets moved, I think. So they may want to keep Naz Reid.
Yeah. So you see, so what about Cat going to LA? Oh man, no. What's up, Key? How you doing?
Well, I mean, look,
Alexander,
Minnesota has to do something. They can't trade Gobert. Nobody wants it. They're not going to trade Anthony Edwards. I think Cat is gone this year. If he goes anywhere, it's probably New York.
Through Towns?
I think New York's missed out on a bunch of guys. Cat's the one they have to go all in for.
Yeah, Naz Reid he's that player, man, that will really fill that role, like that 6-man role, or like come off the bench.
If they trade Cat, Reid is going to stay in Minnesota. If not, then maybe you could get Reid out of Minnesota. So you would hope that Minnesota can't trade Karl-Anthony Towns because then you would be able to get.
So when do we start usually seeing these moves happen? Like after the draft? When does free agency start?
I mean, once we get past the draft, a lot of these rumors will probably start kind of happening.
Yeah.
Because right now it's, Nuggets win the title. Then once the Nuggets kind of have their parade, kind of move into draft mode, And then once you get into the draft, you get past the draft, then it's like summer league type. So probably during like the summer league type era, you might hear a lot about big trades that might happen.
Yeah, T Wolves needs to move Cat for another perimeter player to pair with Ant. I agree.
Yep.
Because yeah, like you said, they're definitely
And
not
that's
going to move Ant.
unfortunate because they made the mistake of taking in Gobert. And the two of them cannot be there together. And Karl Anthony Towns is the easier one to move. So Minnesota kind of screwed themselves more ways than one with that Gobert move. Now, I would be interested to see if Cat went to New York, what kind of deal would have to be made to make that work? I'm trying to think on New York, who would Minnesota want? Because you're not getting Brunson, obviously. You're not getting. I would think you're probably not getting Barrett. I don't know. That'd be an interesting move, though. And if you put Karl Anthony Towns in the East, maybe the Knicks could take that next step.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. So, come up on an hour 30. So we'll go to the NFL. Do you think that I'm not gonna say all these topics. We're gonna talk about like I have a question about like the NFL's like punishment on like gambling, other
Mm-hmm.
players. D Hop obviously visited Titans on Sunday. We're gonna talk about that. Then we can talk about the Madden cover. Obviously, Josh Allen be on the cover. The sleeper teams that could have make a splash this season. We don't have to name all of the teams, but and then the Dalvin Cook release by the Vikings, potential landing spots for him. So I guess we can just start off with the first one. So do you think that the NFL is being too harsh on players with gambling, or do you think it's the right move for them, like the league to?
It's the right move. These players have to be smarter. Like,
I agree.
the last thing you need is for your league to be tied to some gambling ring, because what that brings with it is now fans will be questioning the integrity of your games and everything. No league wants that. So I think the NFL is right to come down on these players. I thought when Ridley got popped for it, that'd be the end of it. The fact that we're getting more and more players every day is astonishing to me. And then some of these players are like, oh, I don't even know the rules on the game. Like, if that's true, then the Players Association isn't doing enough for these players. Now, I know that Brady, I think, recorded some
Yeah,
video
the
explaining
NFL.
it for everybody. Like, maybe that's the end of it. But if these players were coming into this league unprepared for this, then the Players Association dropped the ball.
I
But yeah,
agree. I
I agree
agree.
with what the league's doing. They got to get this out of the game now. And it's like you can gamble, do it at home, do it whatever. I don't know. Gamble on another sport. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the rules are either, but whatever loophole or whatever there is in the code of conduct, then work within it. But yeah, the league is doing everything right in all these cases. Got to get it out the league.
Hold on, your comment. He's supposed to get on here, but he says he sent me 2 emails and I didn't get them. So hold on 1 second. Oh yeah, but no, I agree. I like what's the punishment? Like what? Like one year suspension? Like did they really? Or is it like like does it vary?
I think it varies because I feel like Ridley got a year. I thought Jameson Williams got 6. games or something. Now that part of it, I don't know what they're basing it off of. If maybe it's like the amount you gamble, I don't know, but I still think whatever games you suspend them, I think it's right. Maybe if they could try to have some guideline to a suspension, like first time offense is a certain number of games, second time whatever. That's probably the only thing that I might question is if it's kind of randomized, then that might lead to some other issues. But the way that they're treating it, like I said, I still agree with it.
Got you. Yeah, 1 second. So D Hop, he's on the market, looking for a home for the next couple of years. He's down revamping his visits to other teams. His first stop was in Tennessee with Mike Vrabel. Now, I think, from my understanding, they had a little connection a couple of years ago. Wow, I don't know what team Vrabel was on coaching wise at the time, but I know they had a connection. I had to think about that and do my research, but that was the first stop, Tennessee. We don't know how that conversation, that visit went. I haven't really heard any reports on like that visit. I know he was at like a Nashville concert or a country concert yesterday in Nashville. I mean, Nashville's a poppin' city. I mean, I heard about they make good barbecue, good music, good country music. I think he posted his story. He was at some like concert, some country concert. It's like obviously he's living living out his free agency all season. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the next visit, what teams, what's the next team visit. But I know he's probably
I
gonna
think
visit
it's
with
New England.
Baltimore, New England. I think
New England's the next visit.
Oh, New England's the next
I
visit.
think New England he's supposed to visit today or tomorrow.
Okay.
Like I said, all I know is that he left Tennessee without a deal. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm assuming like after he meets with the teams, he's gonna come to the table and with his team and talk about what's best for them. So I think Patriots is next. I think Baltimore after that. I think Buffalo. I think so. He has a lot of teams to visit. Because he wants to, find the right scenario, the right team, the right home, the right owner, the right organization, the right quarterback to play with. So a lot of factors, are determining his destination. So when it's all said and done, I mean, maybe you can throw Cleveland in the mix with Deshaun Watson.
The fact that he visited Tennessee first kind of makes it seem like it's money driven. Would you say Tennessee has a quarterback situation that you would put on par with like Kansas City or Philadelphia or Buffalo? No. Because I feel like if it was strictly quarterback driven and that list that came out like a week or so ago, wouldn't his first visit have just been Kansas City? So that's why I'm like, first off, that list seems like whoever put that out there clearly was wrong, unless he's just trying to use Tennessee and New England to drive up their price. But I mean, if I'm Kansas City and Buffalo, would I really be threatened by that? Because if I'm Kansas City, it's like, look, we won without you last year. We don't necessarily need you. You need us. So this is our number. We're sticking to it. For Buffalo, it's like, we're an ascending team somewhat. We would love to pair you with Stephon Diggs, but I don't know if I would look at the Tennessee and New England visit and be like, oh man, we have to up our number. So that sort of kind of seems odd to me. I think New England is in play a little bit because of the Bill O'Brien, and he had really great years with Bill O'Brien. But I do ultimately I still think Cleveland might be a sleeper team because of the Deshaun Watson connection. And if he goes to Cleveland, he's automatically the go-to guy. So that's to increase his value, even if he just signs like a 1 or 2 year deal. Maybe he thinks he could get another deal after that. And if Watson is as good as he was back in Houston, Cleveland could be a team that makes a surprise run. So I think Cleveland might be a team to watch in the D-Hop sweepstakes.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that with the Deshaun Watson Browns scenario. When it's all said and done, where do you see him playing, like suiting up? I mean, because there's so many teams like that obviously Tennessee didn't get it done. Got Buffalo, your team, Patriots, Baltimore is still in the mix. Browns, or do you see another sleeper team we don't know about? I don't know.
My top 3 for D-Hop would be Cleveland 1, Buffalo 2.
I mean, I still say Baltimore still in like the mix.
Maybe New England 3. I'd probably put Baltimore 4.
I say definitely Baltimore. Like for like what I'm hearing, like John Harbaugh like has because obviously before they got Odell, like Lamar kind of asked the front office to possibly get both D-Hop and Odell, and they got Odell. So maybe they're still in the mix. I mean they were in love with D-Hop at the draft. That's what I thought we were going to get, but then I wasn't really mad at getting OBJ, but that's still a team that's like in the mix. Some current like reports and on Twitter saying that Baltimore, Ozzie and Eric and John, they still wish and want him on the team. So I wouldn't count out Baltimore. This is from what I'm hearing. I know obviously probably the Chiefs and the Buffalo would be favorites. Patriots, I would say, like you said, it was like Bill O'Brien. So we'll see like where he goes. I'm excited to see like if D-Hop goes to Baltimore and you see like OBJ there. I think he reported to mandatory minicamp today, OBJ. So I'm pretty sure once D-Hop sees it, they're like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Like, how that do, baby? So it could happen, man. So I'm still a little hyped, but you see that big smile on my face. But yeah, but like you said, he definitely has earned the right to test out the market. He wants to find a team that fits his needs, a trusted organization, a good quarterback. He doesn't want to bounce from owner to owner in the span of like 5 years. So he wants to stay like with a consistent organization. Because I'm pretty sure he saw that, with the whole organization scheme or tree in Arizona with Kyler Murray not being a quarterback because he's hurt and new coach coming in. Probably no receivers. Well, he has, I don't know who they have as a receiver, actually, Arizona. As far as
they have Rondale Moore.
Oh yeah, Rondale Moore.
Isn't Hollywood Brown there?
Oh yeah, Hollywood Brown. Yep, Rondale Moore. Yeah, I had him on my fantasy last year. Dog crap for me. Huh. But
a lot of that could be tied into the quarterback situation. But
yeah,
I think Rondale Moore.
Yeah, I think I had him. I think I had him on my bench. I think. But I'm pretty sure, like you said, like training camp coming around the corner, OTA, the mandatory training camp around the corner, or happening right now. Probably the visits are going to be ramping up. Trade talk's going to be ramping up for D-Hop. And yeah, we'll see where he lands. Let's see what's the next topic for today. I sent the link to the comment through Messenger, so he might hop on. So he didn't see the link yet. All right. So this your thoughts on like the Madden cover? I pre-ordered it yesterday. The deluxe edition. I didn't get charged anything for it. I think Dylan said that you get charged like 10 days before it comes out or whatever. But I did get it. I'm one of those fans of Madden who kind of hates the copy and paste game, like different rosters or the same roster.
As I tell people, what are you expecting? It's the same sport.
True.
all they can really do is make minor tweaks to it. Like, look, the Madden community, most video game communities have the same issue. Call of Duty, whatever. There are some fans that are just never satisfied. Yet they somehow play the game every year. Go figure. Then there are some who love it no matter what. And then the other side will say, "Oh, you're just a, simp or whatever." At the end of the day, you will have as much fun with the game as you want to have with it. Like me, I play Madden. Out of the sports games, it's probably one of the ones I play the least, but I still have fun playing it because, people will talk about, oh, it's not as realistic as the game on Sunday. It's like, yeah, it's a video game. There's still going to be some type of disconnect. I feel like the game's fine. The only thing I hate is when, people find the exploits and the, plays and all that. I hate that about the game, but like all in all, it's fine for me. Because we talked about this in the group chat. Like some people coming out like with the beta talking about how, oh, this game's trash. Other people are like, it's a big improvement over 23. So, whatever. But I'm fine with Josh Allen on the cover. He was supposedly supposed to be on the cover last year before John Madden died, and then Madden obviously had to be on the cover of his own game.
Yeah.
So they picked Josh Allen. Cool. I like I guess it's the deluxe edition that has him with like Bill's Mafia. I think that's a cool cover. I kind of agree with people who say like maybe they should do that with more players. Like if you put like a Browns player, do a cover with like him and the was it the Dog Pound, the iconic fans like that. Sure. I'm still one of those who says like if you do a quarterback, put their top wide receiver on the cover with them. I could live with that. Because if you had Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, I wouldn't be mad at that. But yeah, I don't have a problem with him being on the cover. And I plan on playing it, especially with the crossplay features. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
Well, speaking of the top receiver for there's been Twitter like reports that I think it's the first day of Bill's mandatory minicamp and Stephon Diggs has not showed up. He's the only player who has not shown up. So I don't know if he's holding out or he wants another contract or I don't know what his problem is. There was a thing that they said that Bill's head coach Sean McDermott says wide receiver Stephon Diggs is not in attendance for mandatory minicamp. McDermott said he's very concerned in quotations. And then Tom Pelissero, where wide receiver Stephon Diggs, who is absent from mandatory minicamp today, is making around 24.415 million in 2023, including a 2020 or 22.74 or 22 and $745 million signing bonus as a part of a March restructure. The amount of dead cap means his contract isn't really tradable from Buffalo's end, an unusual situation. So definitely that's the situation we got to keep close eye on. And then Ari Mariov on Twitter said every other Bills player reported to mandatory minicamp today. Stephon Diggs is the only one absent. So I don't know about that situation. It's kind of like definitely a situation we want to keep our eye on going forward. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that McDermott said troubling or whatever he said. That's not what I want to hear from the head coach. That almost makes it seem like he doesn't even know why he's not there. And if that's the case, then it's probably an underlying issue that could become ugly in the media. If it is a holdout, then I think those can get resolved pretty easily because we know with the NFL you can push some of the contract money into a like a bonus type thing. the NFL has funny ways of working contracts. So if that's what he's holding out for, then I don't think that's that big of a deal. But if it's something where he's, unhappy, because we saw him, was it this year when they lost in the playoffs, it seemed like he took it harder than anybody. So if it's a situation where maybe he's kind of done with Josh Allen, then that's serious, because then you're probably going to have to move him. And if you're Buffalo, that's the last thing you want to do, because if DeAndre Hopkins were to come and visit, Stephon Diggs would be a reason for DeAndre to possibly want to play there. But now if he's gone, now you're looking at, Gabe Davis and guys like that, not as appealing. So I think this could be troubling, but as of right now, I would say
it's like too early to say. It's like, what?
Yeah, I wouldn't get too worked up about it now, but if this goes on for a few weeks, then I'd be worried about it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think a topic. We can save this for like next show. I was like sleeper teams that could make a splash. We
could do that quickly. I've already said my sleeper team for the AFC. I have Cleveland, and then the NFC. I think my sleeper team in the NFC is probably. You can't really say Detroit now because Detroit is kind of like everybody's sleeper team, but maybe Seattle.
I think my sleeper team in the AFC. I know Jags made it to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I see Jags, but because their addition of Calvin Ridley, they're going to be even more dangerous. I want to say Baltimore because of their receiving corps, but
I don't think
they're not really a sleeper because they're going to be like they're projected to have a positive win percentage this year. So I guess they're not. I'll say it's okay. So I'll say Jaguars, and also I would say in the AFC, Denver, because I think Sean Payton.
I agree with that.
Yeah, Sean Payton is a head coach now. If Denver didn't make that move with Sean Payton, I think they're not a sleeper team, but I think Sean Payton should uplift Russell Wilson. And they still have,
unless Russell Wilson is washed, which some people think he
is.
Yeah,
the only enemy for Russell Wilson is himself. They have
his wide receiver group too.
I like
a lot of guys
Judy
there who don't. Yeah, but a lot of them don't stay on the field.
In the Sutton, he's a receiver, right?
Yep. KJ Hamler. I think they still have Tim Patrick.
Yeah.
So they have guys that they're on the field. They're a very dangerous team. It's just, can they all stay healthy at the same time?
Right. So you said your sleeper team in the NFC is what? You said you can't say Detroit.
Yeah, because Detroit's like everybody's pick now. I said Seattle, and I think even a deeper sleeper would probably be maybe Chicago.
I like Chicago, with the whole DJ Moore there, and like Dylan said, I know they have draft picks and a lot of cap, but I was going to be my sleeper team because I'm still holding faith for Justin Fields. Like we said on the Monday show with Dylan's question, like that draft class. Fields should have been the better quarterback in that draft class, but he didn't really have the receivers. He still doesn't. He has DJ Moore, but I don't know any other receiver on that team other than DJ Moore. And do you know any popular names in that receiver
Mooney.
room? Oh, Mooney, yeah.
Mooney, Claypool.
Oh, yeah, Claypool, yeah.
They have the other St. Brown, I believe.
I think. Is that his brother? Or is they're not related?
I think so. I think they are brothers. I believe he's on Chicago. Not sure.
Chicago.
Let's see. One.
No. So they got DJ Moore.
No, the other St. Brown is in Green Bay, actually. I think it's Green Bay and Detroit have St. Browns.
I mean, other than DJ Moore and like Darnell Mooney, I don't know any receivers like Velus Jones Jr., Tyler Scott, Daniel Pettis,
yeah, nothing's gonna
Tyreek
really wow you.
Pitts. So yeah,
I do like the Roschon Johnson draft pick. Bijan Robinson got all the hype from Texas, but Johnson was really good there as a backup.
Yeah. So the last topic before we get to the game, where do we see Dalvin Cook going? I think a sleeper team to pick him up would be, I would say Miami. That's
everybody's favorite right now.
Oh, really?
He's the one. I mean, Dalvin Cook posted like him in Miami.
Oh, I mean, I had that sleeper because I know that's a tip that they would. I mean, they always get those. Like they had like the Jay Ajayi's of the world. They had the most starts of the world. They picked him up. Mm-hmm. So it's not really a surprising move. It is. It's not really a surprising move because they traded for those running backs. Another team I would say.
I just want to say I was actually right. The other St. Brown is in Chicago.
Oh, I didn't see him on the list when I looked up the receivers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I see him going. I mean, another team. I mean, I know Pollard got hurt, but I see him going to Dallas. Kind of like because Ezekiel Elliott's a free agent. He hasn't signed anywhere yet. So I feel like go to a division rival, work with Dak Prescott. Another team I'd say is in the running maybe would be well, who do you have him going to? Where do you have him going?
So I think the favorite is Miami. I do agree, Dallas. It would be a Jerry Jones type of move. You just lose Ezekiel Elliott. Why not replace him with Dalvin Cook? Outside of that, I would say maybe. To be honest with you, I think it's one of those two spots.
Yeah, I couldn't. That's why I couldn't think of
anywhere else he'd necessarily fit.
I know there's a team on the top of my tongue I want to, because I know with the whole maybe the Giants, because like with the whole restructure of like Saquon Barkley. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to do it done, but right now it's kind of stale right now. So maybe they kind of sign him as like a assurance, until he makes up his mind. I was gonna say the Giants, or the Jets, man, because Breece Hall's coming from ACL tear. Obviously they're going to be ready to go off the bat. Maybe they sign him and pair him with Aaron Rodgers. Who knows, man? Like, but are you ready for the game?
Yep.
All right. Guess the NFL player. I gotta look up the the first player. We go to who was the first player? Let me see. Okay. So the whole point of this game is I'm gonna add the new fans who are tuning in, or if you're watching this, the whole point of the game is I'm gonna name Kyle, my co-host, 5 current, some not current players, and the whole point is I'm gonna tell him this player played this position, play for these teams, and I'm gonna ask Kyle like, who is this player? So the first player. All right. So this player, he's not in the league right now, but he is fairly, okay, I guess, mid-age, like late 20s, early 30s. He played 5 years in Cleveland, 2 years in New England. Probably gave it away. 1 year in Kansas City, 1 year in Seattle, and 1 year in Tennessee. Who is this player? Or who's this? He's a wide receiver. So in 2012 he played in Cleveland. He had played 16 games. He started 13 games. He was targeted 96 times. He had 50 receiving yards, 805 yards. He had 5 touchdowns.
Write this one down.
In 2013,
right.
With the stats.
So what were the teams again?
All right, so 5 years in Cleveland.
Okay.
2 years in New England.
Okay.
1 year in Kansas City. 1 year in Seattle. And he ended in 2022 in Tennessee. So, I mean, if you want to write down the stats, like 2012. Oh, do I have Kyle thinking on this one? Oh, yes, man. Because last time was easy, man. Yeah. All right.
Cleveland, New England, Kansas City, Seattle, Tennessee, wide receiver.
So, yeah, he ended his career, I guess, 2022 in Tennessee. He only played 2 games. His stats were kind of like subpar his last year. Like compared to other years, 2012 he had 50 receiving yards, 80 in 2013 Cleveland he played 14 games. 14 games started, 159 targeted passes, 87 receiving yards. He had 1,000 yards, and then in 2014 he played 12. Then I can't get that hint away, but.
Okay. I mean, all thing I'll need is just the years where he started with it. So Cleveland was 2012.
Cleveland was 20. So Cleveland was 2012 to 2014. Assuming. So in total, 5 years in Cleveland. Well, okay. He didn't. He took a break, a hiatus in 2015, 2016. Then he went back to Cleveland, so that's probably his last year. Played 12 games, he played 5 games, started 5 games, targeted 42 times. In 2018, okay. 2017 and 2018 he played in Cleveland. Then that same year he went to New England.
Okay.
Twice, and then played 1 year in Seattle. And then in 2021, played in Seattle 2019, and then played in Kansas 2021, 2022, or Tennessee. Yeah. Who's this wide receiver?
That's interesting. Because the Kansas City and Seattle years are throwing me off. Because I'm trying to think of a New England wide receiver that went to Seattle. Like, the only one I'm thinking of is Deion Branch, but I know it's not him because he didn't play in Cleveland. And that was before 2019. So, what other name is popping up? I know it's not Danny Amendola because he played with the Rams. So, cross him off. Tennessee 2022 is throwing me off too. So that's the last year. You were looking at Julio Jones. Obviously not him. This one might actually have me. I'm trying to think of New England wide receivers in 2018. So you probably had Edelman, Amendola.
Man, I really had this dude freaking stumped, man. It's a first, man, because Kyle, he's an NFL expert, man. Like he, see, I really thought when I said, well, I now I can't say the team because I said, but I can't give you. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna listen. I can't. And this is only the first one, man.
Yeah, I
can see where you're saying like
is Cleveland. Yeah. To New England, and then from leaving New England, that's where I'm trying to think from right there. So going to Seattle, Kansas City, and Tennessee. I'm trying to think what wide receiver. Oh, I know this. This is Josh Gordon.
Yeah, it's Josh Gordon. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why I was
Because
overthinking it.
when I said the Patriots, I thought they'd give it away.
Well, I mean, Josh Gordon's time in New England was, yeah, okay, yeah, duh. Because when I thought Cleveland to New England, when I actually started thinking about that, obviously was Josh Gordon. Okay, yes, yeah. Now the Kansas City part might have thrown me off because can't really remember a lot about Josh Gordon in Kansas City, but the Tennessee part then brought it back with Seattle. So yes, Josh Gordon. Okay.
So this one might be easy. This next one. Gotta look. Okay. Oh shit. All right, this player is a. This is so easy. Never, man. I'm gonna do. This player is a tackle.
Okay.
Played for Baltimore. Played for Kansas City twice. And on the Bengals. That's pretty easy.
So Baltimore, Kansas City, Bengals. All things with offensive linemen, to be honest with you, I don't really pay a lot of attention to them.
Kyle, this is easy, man.
I mean, a tackle from
Baltimore, Kansas City, Bengals this season.
So they're currently on the Bengals?
Yes.
Okay. Oh. Baltimore, Kansas. His name's oh my god, what's his name?
Oh, Kyle, bro. You're gonna make me cry, brother.
Isn't Orlando Brown Jr.?
Yup. Dang name. All right. I said that's pretty Baltimore because he played him. He got drafted by Baltimore. Played there. Played Kansas City twice, and then. Damn, I'm really kind of getting on these, man. Like the Josh Gordon one.
I said offensive lineman would probably be your best bet because I don't know if I pay a lot of attention to them.
All right, the next one. All right, this next one. All right, this is a receiver, another receiver. He's out of the league right now. He started his career in 2006 with Denver. He played 4 years there. He in 2010 he played 3 years in Chicago, 2 years in Miami, 1 year in New York Giants, and 1 year in Seattle. So he started his career in Denver 4 years, 3 in Chicago, 1 in Miami. Or I'm sorry, 2 in Miami, 2 years in, or no, so he played for both New York teams, actually. He played for the New York Jets in 2015, 2016. In 2017, he played 1 year with the Giants, and then he ended his career in Seattle. Who is this receiver?
Okay. So
I'm pretty sure that
who was the last team?
So the last team was Seattle in 2018.
In what year?
2018.
Okay.
And he's been out of the league, so he's
Denver, Chicago, Miami, Giants, Jets, Seattle. That's quite a trip around the league. I think I need to focus on the Denver to Chicago part.
And then he played Miami in 2010 and 2011.
Okay. So I'm assuming he went to the Giants first, then the Jets.
No, he went to the Jets. He went to the Jets first, and then he went to Giants and then Seattle.
Okay.
He went to the He played for the Giants in 2015. Or no, I'm sorry. He played for the Jets in 2015, 2016. And then he played 1 year with the Giants. Played 5 games. Started 5 games. I
ended
think
in Seattle.
I think in 2008, he had his best receiving season. He had
So he had a
1,026
big
yards.
gap in years between Miami and the Jets.
Yeah, so Miami 20. Well, he played. So he said Miami and the Jets.
Yeah, because he told me Miami was 2010, 2011.
So Miami was 2010 to 2011, and then Chicago was 2012 to 2014.
Okay. So I had that wrong. 2012, 2024. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, so Denver to Miami to the Bears, Jets, Giants, Seattle. Best year was 08 in Denver. Okay.
Well, his first year was 2006 in Denver.
Right.
So he played 4 seasons, 26, 20,
That's so
2006 to 2009.
Let's focus on the back half of his career. Jets, Giants, Seattle.
I'm surprised this in the back half. I'm surprised he didn't pick it up yet. Like in the back half of the year. But I can't name the team. I don't want to give it away.
Jets, Giants, Seattle. Pretty sure not a lot of guys played for both New York teams. That's a rarity. Miami too? Seattle. Oh God, this is a good one. Okay.
Yeah, like the next two are more they're on the demon side of the ball. So that's these two. So damn, Kyle, damn.
The only thing is this
I'm really
is back in this is back in 06 up to 18. It's like I gotta think of a guy that played that long.
So really he had
That's a pretty good
13
career
career year, right? 13 career,
Yeah.
so 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 2 is 9 plus 2 is
So, I mean, this should be a guy I should get, but Denver, Miami, Chicago.
No, I'm sorry. In 2007, he had his best receiving yard of the year with 1,325 yards.
Yeah, so he was a good player.
And then he had a back to back. He had in 2008 he had 1,265 yards. Played almost every game. Started every game.
That's the hardest part for me with these is trying to think who his quarterbacks would have been at those spots.
Let me see.
I mean, Seattle in 18 would be Russell Wilson. That's obvious. Giants in 2017. His quarterback would have been Eli. Okay. Jets 15-16. You're looking at. Is that Sanchez?
Let me see who the quarterback was in Denver. Was it Peyton Manning?
In 06, that would have been. I want to say that's. No, it wouldn't have been Manning. 06, jeez.
To the quarterback in 08 or was Jay Cutler?
Okay.
Here, let me just go. Let's give you
Is
the
that long
quarterback.
ago? Wow. Okay.
So Cutler was the quarterback for this player in 2008. Quarterback. I guess the next team would be Miami. Quarterback.
Yeah, 10 and 11, that'd probably be. Maybe Pennington? Jay Fiedler?
In 2010, they had Chad Henne and Chad Pennington.
So they did have Pennington. Okay. So they didn't exactly have the greatest quarterbacks.
Did I say what year did he? Like I asked you, what year did he play in Miami? Like what years?
He said 10 and
2011.
11.
Oh, okay, all right. Because in 2012, Ryan Tannehill took over the in 2012, but he wasn't there.
I feel like I should know this one. Because, like you said, the end of his career being New York, Seattle, that should give it to me. Because you're going to Eli.
Those are yeah, I'm gonna say those are the two teams I'm shocked you haven't guessed the player.
So Russell Wilson, he had Tyler Lockett. He had 2018. That was
Yeah, like Kearse.
I'm trying to think. 2018 was that the Super Bowl year against New England?
So let me see. 2018 Seattle Seahawks roster. Yeah, so they had Doug Ball and Tyler Lockett, David Moore.
Well, I mean, I was just saying, was that? Yeah, I probably was. I was thinking that was the Super Bowl year where they faced the Patriots. Eli Manning to Russell Wilson. Which wide receiver did that? I feel like this one should not stump me, but for some reason, it's really messing me up.
Yeah, he only played in seven games that season 2018, and he only started 2.
Okay.
So he didn't really play much.
He didn't play that much.
I'm assuming because of injury. Or...
Oh man, this is crazy.
Let me know when you're ready for me to tell you.
Well, I feel like I just need to throw out a guess here before you just tell me who it is. Seattle in 2018. That should be the easy part for me.
Just throw out a name, then I'll tell you.
So who's the? I'm trying to think. A guy who bounced around a lot, who played with Russell Wilson.
Oh man, this is
I
crazy.
feel like if I focus on Denver, Chicago, Miami, I'm gonna lose my mind because I don't know if I can think back that far right now.
Just throw out a player, man. I got you, man. Shoot your shot.
Ah, man, oh, man. Wait a minute. 2017 was. So he was the Giants in 2017. I think that was around the time of the. No, that was 20. Because the Patriots' perfect season was like 2016 or something. I thought that might have been a Giants team that beat them. God, freaking Giants are slipping me up too.
I mean,
It's
I'm
like
gonna
you
tell
think
you.
you automatically think like all the wrong players that don't fit for this.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you so you can speed up this process, or if you could take a guess?
Yeah, I don't want to waste too much time.
Just
I mean, if I was just throwing a guess, no, just tell me. I'm drawing a blank.
Brandon Marshall.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because he played for the Jets that year.
To be honest with you, the Jets part I don't remember. I don't even remember him with the Giants. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that one I would have been better off focus on the early part of his career.
So the Giants probably the reason why because he only played 5 games, started 5 games.
Yeah, I went about that the wrong way for him.
Man, I got you, man. I got you, bro.
Yeah, Denver, Miami, Chicago makes sense. Brandon Marshall. I should have focused on that part.
All right.
Yeah, I don't remember Brandon Marshall in Seattle. Yeah, that's why I couldn't get him. Okay, yeah, you got me with that one.
All right. So the last two.
Okay,
This player is a defensive back, so he's a corner or he's a
okay,
safety. He started his career in Carolina, played 3 years in Carolina, 3 years in Jacksonville, 3 years in Seattle, and 2 years in New York. He's on that Super Bowl winning team that recent time they won the Super Bowl, the Giants. In 2001, he started 16 games, played in 16 games. He had 5 interceptions, 96 yards. Uh, so he played 11 years in the NFL, 13 years.
okay. Not a bad career.
I think I'm gonna stump you again on this one because
Yeah, defensive backs. Good lord. Carolina, Jacksonville, Seattle.
yeah. So he got drafted to Carolina in 2001. So played there 3 seasons, uh,
Okay.
01 to 03. Then he got traded to Jacksonville, played Jacksonville for 3 years to from 03 or from 04 to 06. So he basically played on 3 teams 3 straight years. Like so 01 to 03, Carolina, where he got drafted. Then 04 to 06 and to Jacksonville, then 07 to 09, Seattle, and then he just played 2 years in New York for the Giants. Who was this defensive back? I know. Last episode I had you. It was too easy, man. Odell Beckham.
Yeah. Let's see. Carolina, Jacksonville, Seattle, Giants.
Yeah, and he was on that Super Bowl roster the last time they won it. He was on that team the year they won it.
Okay. Let's see. So Giants, 2010.
Yep, 2010, 2011.
I mean, defensive back's another position. There's so many names running around my head right now. The Carolina Jacksonville stops are interesting. In Seattle. Only played for 4 teams, about 3 years everywhere outside the Giants. So I actually think he was in Carolina for one of their Super Bowl runs. He was with the Jets for a Super Bowl run.
Oh, he didn't play with the Jets. He was the Giants.
I mean, Giants, sorry. He was with the Giants for a Super Bowl run. Carolina Super Bowl run. Okay. He said he's a cornerback, right?
Safety, but D back.
Okay, safety. Okay. A safety. You picked all the right position groups in this one. Safety. Think. Giant safety.
Gosh. So you want me to tell you, or want to take a wild guess?
I mean, I probably washed that Giants Super Bowl out of my mind because I was so frustrated. Trying to think, who was a safety in that game? This is a good one. Oh my god. Let me think. This might be a wild guess one again. So one name I'm thinking. I don't even know if he fits this one. Is it Antro Roll?
No.
Okay. That's the name that was popping up for the Giants. And I did not think it was him, but that's the guess I threw out there.
So you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Deion Grant.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, do you
I
know if you
remember
know
Grant in Jacksonville. Remember him in Seattle. Yeah, that's
And see, damn, I had you.
I mean, like I said, this is easier for NFL because there's so much that goes on. I think I'd probably do better with NBA, but let's keep going. So got one more.
Yeah, one more. It's pretty easy.
Right.
I'm not. It's not
I gotta
easy.
end it on a good one.
It's not easy, but I'm saying easy because this player played probably on the same team for so many years, and then all right. I would say he's a defensive back, safety. I mean, the first team kind of gives it a. Oh, yeah, well. So he got drafted in '99 to Washington. From '99 to 2003. So he played. He played 10 years. His 10-year career in Denver. Oh wait, what? Hold on. Okay, so he played. I'm sorry, 5 years in Washington because he got drafted to Washington. So he played '99 to 2003. So that's 5 years, and then he finished his career basically in Denver. I mean, who is his defensive back?
So Denver was what?
So basically 2 teams. So not 99, or so Washington was 99 to 2003, and Denver was 2004 to 2013. So he's out of the league. So he's been out of the league.
It's a long career in Denver. Okay. This is a guy I should know well because those years from 04 to 13 were a lot of Patriots Denver games.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Safety. Washington to Denver.
His last game. Well, he was a corner. Well, they have him through 99 to 2012 as a left cornerback, and then
Okay.
his last year he was a defensive back. So
Okay, so he made the natural move from corner to safety later in your career. Okay.
but I mean, I think it's easy because it's two teams, but it's really kind of
Yeah. Hmm.
Man, I'm impressed with myself. So this list is good.
I mean, there's so many players in the NFL. Like this is. Huh. 2013.
6 foot. 6 foot.
Okay.
He had played 215 games in total. He had 52 interceptions.
Okay, that's a decent amount.
He had 464 yards in total. When he had 4 pick sixes. His longest was a 70-yarder. He had 4 forced fumbles. He had 832 solo tackles. He had a combination of 931 combo tackles. He had he's a Pro Bowler, a All Defensive. He's AFP Defensive Player or the Player of the Year. AP1 Pro Bowl, so he's a. Trying to see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So
I know who this is. Oh my god, it should not have taken me this long. It's Champ Bailey.
Yep.
Yeah. I forgot he got drafted by Washington. Yeah, that's Champ Bailey.
That's Champ Bailey. Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
I should have done better with these, but I mean, 3 out of 5, I'll take it.
3 out of 5. Which one did you get right off the bat? Well, you got Atlanta
I
Brown.
got
That's
Josh Gordon,
easy.
Orlando Brown, and Champ Bailey. I missed Brandon Marshall and Deion Grant.
Yeah, I'll give you Atlanta Brown. That was the easy one.
Yeah, I should have gotten Brandon Marshall, but for some reason I was focusing on the wrong part of his career.
Yeah, man. It's a fun game, man. To make you think. So maybe I'll try to do some NBA. Maybe take some NBA, get some different sports in there.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do my research. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of the end of the show. A good show. I mean, I appreciate you for coming on, man. I know you weren't feeling good, but you got on. I appreciate that. Do you have any final thoughts on the show? Anything you want to say?
No, great show. NBA season being over kind of stinks, but draft coming up. I'm probably one of those who might pay too much attention to the draft because I still like the whole aspect of seeing, young guys going up there, holding up the jersey. Even though, the Celtics have a late pick. The guy they draft might not even be a contributor, but I still watch the draft. But now with the NBA out of the way, focus on, a lot more soccer and all this kind of stuff. Baseball. So, yeah, sports never stop.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, like, the big move that we didn't talk about was Messi to Miami Inter Miami. It's a
Mhm.
big move for that for the MLS.
Yep. Mbappe is leaving PSG possibly because he said he's
I
not
wish
extending his
I wish I
contract, although it might be to get more money out of them. But I think Mbappe needs to be either at Real Madrid or in the Premier League at this point. He needs to make the
yeah
move. Or
yeah
Barcelona. If he played at Barcelona, that'd be fine.
I wish a soccer fan was in here. The big guy who asked about the Ronaldo Messi debate, but
Yeah.
that's a whole conversation for a different show. But yeah, like Kyle said, like I know NBA is over, but then we have the draft coming up. Free agency off season.
Summer League's not that far away.
Yeah, summer league is like July. Actually, the
Yeah.
next month, right? July.
Yeah.
Man, we still got baseball to watch. So yeah, I mean it's gonna be interesting to see where D Hop goes and these other players and other top notch free agents. But yeah, this definitely was a good show, good edition, good episode. But like always, I'm your host, Jordan Jean Louis, aka Big J. And then I got my boy Kyle Evers, my co-host, man. If you want to look for him, he's on Chomping at the Bit on YouTube. Me and him are on Sports Empire Network. Me and Kyle share shows with Dylan on the Big Three, and now I think we're Dylan on the Cheap Seats on Monday. Well, Cheap Seats on Monday. Big Three actually later tonight, with Jake. So yeah, I mean, we're everywhere. So yeah, I mean, if you miss any episodes, tune in. You go to my Instagram bio, on my page, on both pages, my podcast page, my original page. Go to the link, and it should pop up with all of the links to the show: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, any podcast stream you have, I'm on there. So don't hesitate to check me out. I did post that video, that TikTok of like the 100-point game, like the quadruple double, and I've been having some mixed answers. I have the 100-point game, I have the quadruple double. So it's people are still commenting. So
yeah, I mean it's an interesting debate. I think it'd be wild to see somebody score 100 points.
Yo, what it do, y'all?
Oh,
it's your boy Big J.
So they're saying Joker's gonna get the quad. The one dude said Dean gonna break the 100, or that's good. People are saying probably Wilt's records because it's probably never gonna happen again. So it's like a matter about being a 2 of 2, like you said last night, or 1 of 5. I mean, that's really all what it's about. So yeah, so definitely tune into the show next episode, y'all. It's a good show, and we are out.